Agnew to wind on the amendment.
Thank you, Principal Deputy Speaker. And again, I welcome the debate and indeed the consensus there has been across the chamber in both support for the motion and the amendment. I have to say I welcome in the Minister's closing comments his commitment to the evidence-based approach and the reference to the area-based approach and the work with Professor Liddell. The Kirklees model is something I think that certainly my party is proud of. We had a strong presence on the council that implemented that scheme, and I think it is a model of good practice that we can look to and try to emulate. It was ultimately the basis of the Green New Deal proposals, which unfortunately were rejected, but a lot of what the Minister is saying sounds like his department may be taking forward some of that work under a different name. I'm not wedded to the name, and I'm very conscious in Northern Ireland anything with green in the title, including my own party's name, can sometimes be proved divisive. But I would recommend to the Minister, as well as the work his department is doing. For example, today I met up with a cooperative called Future Proof NI, who I've advised to contact his department. They presented to me a proposed pilot retrofit in Moyle, which they believe could be funded for around $250,000 a year. And it's these approaches that I think can and should be looked at, and where local people, local companies have the initiative to take forward some of this work. We should, if their business case stacks up, support them how we can. I made reference before, and I'll try not to go round the world again, Mr McCann, but I made reference before to Finland, and it's been mentioned by a number of speakers, Scandinavia in general, where they do have, and again it comes back to the evidence base, they do have 100% cavity wall insulation, 100% loft insulation, 100% floor insulation, and 100% double glazing, and the evidence is there that the winter-related deaths are lower per head of population than in Northern Ireland, despite much colder temperatures. There's absolutely no doubt that better quality, bit more energy efficient housing does lead to better outcomes for those who live in them. And I suppose I just, again in reference to the discussion we had across the chamber between myself and Mr Campbell, the member for East Londonderry, who, a strange act of goodwill, agreed with me. It's actually not his first time, as he said it may be the only time we hear it. I believe he did it once in Nolan as well. But so embarrassed is he that he's left the chamber. But we do have the various schemes, the boiler replacement schemes, the double glazing scheme, the warm home scheme, the NICEP scheme, and I think we should look at ways can we bring this funding together into a pool to look at deep retrofitting on an area-based approach, because double glazed windows in a house that it doesn't have cavity wall insulation in itself will be an effective. Boiler replacement in a home that doesn't have other insulation will be ineffective. It's really only when you bring these measures together that you get genuine energy efficiency and the true benefits to the homeowner. And I suppose that's where, as well, I think we must go further than simply the housing executive and others mentioned, others social rented sector, and indeed privately owned homes. We have to treat this as part of our public infrastructure, and look to get to the level where Finland are, where we have 100% of the aforementioned measures in terms of insulation and energy efficiency across our housing stock, because we all move houses, and ultimately we're all responsibility of this government, and fuel poverty at 44% goes beyond the social housing sector or just the lowest paid. It's throughout our society of all income brackets and housing tenures, and it has to be an issue we tackle. Thank you.
Thank you, and I call Ms Paula Bradley to conclude and wind on the debate.
Thank you, Mr Principal Deputy.